The storm over Hawthorne Crossing came without warning, thick clouds rolling over the small town like a heavy grey curtain. Rain slammed against tin roofs, gutters overflowed, and the usually peaceful street market dissolved into a shouting match of vendors packing up their stalls. But beneath the chaos, beneath a stack of toppled crates, a sound cut through the storm, a whimper, high-pitched, strained. A soaked boy of maybe 12 froze mid-step. "Mom, something's crying." No one turned. People were too busy shielding their goods, pulling tops, running for cover. The boy pushed aside a crate, and there it was. A small dog, skinny, trembling violently, its paw twisted unnaturally sideways, one eye swollen shut, mud caked into its fur, chest rising in sharp, painful jolts. He gasped. "Someone help! Please, someone!" But a merchant yelled over the storm, "Leave it. Stray dogs carry infections." Another grumbled. "Kids always want to save everything. Just go home." A man in a raincoat shook his head. "If it's injured like that, nothing can be done." The boy stared at the dog's trembling body. "It's breathing. It's still breathing." No one listened. No one cared. Except one woman who had stopped at the far end of the street. Quietly. She wasn't dressed like a rescuer. No uniform, no medical bag, no bright vest. Just a dark jacket, hiking boots, soaked from the rain, and a single long braid sticking to her shoulder. Her eyes, sharp, steady, scanning, went straight to the injured dog. She approached with calm steps, kneeling beside the boy. "What happened?" He wiped his nose with a soggy sleeve. "No one will help him. He's hurt so bad." The woman gently touched the dog's fur. The animal flinched, but didn't pull away fully. "His leg is broken," she murmured, "but his breathing, he's fighting." The boy asked in a trembling voice, "You can save him, right?" She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she looked around the crowd. People staring, judging, stepping back as though compassion were contagious. Finally, she said softly, "I'll try." She lifted the dog carefully into her arms, shielding it from the rain with her jacket, and rushed toward the nearest clinic. The lights were on. The sign said "Open." She knocked urgently. A man in a white coat opened the door, irritation already on his face. "What? We're closing." She stepped aside, revealing the injured dog. "He's in shock. He needs immediate care." The vet sighed sharply. "Stray? Yes, but no." He tried to shut the door. She blocked it with her shoulder. "He won't make it the night." The vet glared. "Lady, I'm not wasting supplies on an unregistered stray, and I'm definitely not doing a free surgery during a storm. Bring it tomorrow if it survives." The woman's eyes darkened, not with anger but with something deeper, colder, a memory, a wound. The boy pleaded, "Sir, please, he's just a puppy." The vet snapped, "I said no." Then he shoved the door shut. The boy's voice cracked. "What do we do now? He's gonna die." The woman inhaled slowly. This wasn't the first time she'd seen a door close when a life depended on it. More townspeople gathered outside the clinic, whispering under umbrellas. "This is pointless. The vet knows what he's doing. He wouldn't refuse if the dog had a chance." A tall man muttered, "She should stop. The dog's suffering." A woman agreed. Maybe putting it out of misery would be kinder. The boy burst out, "No, don't say that." People stepped back, uncomfortable with his desperation. The woman didn't move. her focus fixed on the dog's shallow breaths. Under the clinic's awning light, she checked the dog again, pulse weak, gums pale, paw swelling rapidly. Rain dripped from her hair. Thunder cracked overhead. A man pointed at her. "You're making a scene. Leave it. It's nature." Another added, "You're endangering people by carrying an infected stray." Someone else muttered, "What does she think she is? A hero?" The dog whimpered again. The woman whispered, "I won't let you die out here." The boy looked up at her. "Then what can we do?" And then a patrol officer walked over, splashing through puddles. "Ma'am, you're crowding the clinic. If the vet refused, you need to step away." The woman stood slowly, calmly. The boy grabbed her sleeve. "Please, don't give up." She didn't. Instead, she reached into her wet jacket and pulled out a waterproof case. The officer raised a hand. "What is that?" "Don't—" But she opened it. Inside was a laminated ID, a silver emblem, and a certification card marked with an international seal. The onlookers leaned in. The officer froze. Even the vet, seeing through the glass window, blinked in confusion, because the symbol on that badge, people had only ever heard of it in documentaries and global rescue missions. A woman whispered, "That can't be real." The officer's voice cracked. Are you with them?" She closed the case with a click. "I am Aurora Hale, International Animal Trauma Response Specialist. Call sign, Silver Pulse." The boy gasped. The officer stepped back. The vet's face drained of color. Aurora lifted the dying dog slightly. "And you will open that clinic. When you want the rescue, the full cinematic climax, the vet's shock, emotional closure, and final moral." For a moment, the storm outside felt quiet compared to the silence that fell over the clinic entrance. Aurora Hale, Silver Pulse, stood unmoving, the injured puppy in her arms, rainwater dripping from her sleeves. The emblem of the International Animal Trauma Response Network glinted under the awning light. Inside the clinic, the vet stared at her through the glass, like he'd just seen a ghost from the global rescue world. He pushed the door open slowly. His voice trembled. You're certified by IATR?" Aurora stepped inside, her voice steady and cold. "I've performed field surgeries on collapsing wildlife, stabilized panicked rescues in earthquakes, revived animals trapped under buildings. And you refuse to examine a small dog with a broken limb." The vet's face flushed red with shame. I didn't realize—" "You didn't ask," she replied sharply. The townspeople outside listened in stunned silence. A wildlife ambulance screeched to a halt outside the clinic. Chief Rowan Kessler stepped out, broad-shouldered, soaked from the storm, authoritative. When he saw Aurora, his entire posture changed. "Aurora Hale, Silver Pulse? You're the operative from the Nepal collapse mission." Aurora nodded slightly. "Chief, I need a trauma room. Now." The vet stumbled backward. Use mine, whatever you need." Chief Kessler glared at the vet. "You refused her." The vet's throat tightened. I misjudged." Chief Kessler didn't hide his disgust. "You misjudged a specialist and nearly cost a life." Inside the clinic, everything moved fast, precise, controlled, urgent. Aurora placed the puppy on the table, hands steady despite the chaos. Pulse weak, massive swelling. The bone may be pinching a vessel. Prepare a cold pack. IV line with slow saline drip. Micro-splinting tools. The vet rushed to obey, without hesitation now. Yes, right away. Chief Kessler assisted, clearing space, disinfecting instruments. The boy stood at the doorway, trembling. Aurora turned to him gently. You can stay, if you're brave enough. He nodded quickly, wiping his eyes. She cleaned the wound, her voice soft but focused. You held on, little fighter. Stay with me. The puppy let out a faint whine. Aurora inserted the IV with flawless precision. The vitals monitor beeped unevenly. His breathing is shallow, the vet whispered. I know, Aurora murmured. We're going to fix that. With slow, controlled culminants, she adjusted the fracture, aligning the limb. The boy covered his mouth as the puppy whimpered. Aurora whispered, It's okay. I'm here. I'm here. The monitor beeped faster, stronger. The vet gasped. His pulse is stabilizing. Aurora wrapped the limb carefully in a microsplint, supporting the bone. Minutes later, the puppy exhaled, a long, relieved breath, and rested its head gently against Aurora's hand. The boy sobbed in relief. You saved him. Aurora smiled softly, exhausted. No, he saved himself. I just gave him the chance. The vet approached her, guilt weighing heavily on him. Ms. Hale, I'm truly sorry. I judged by convenience, not compassion. That isn't what a healer should do. Aurora turned to him, expression unreadable. Leaves don't come with labels. A registered pet isn't more valuable than a stray terrified in the rain. The vet nodded, ashamed. You're right, and I will do better, I promise. Chief Kessler crossed his arms. You'll be doing more than promising. I'll be reporting this clinic for refusal of emergency care. The vet swallowed. I accept that. The boy hugged Aurora tightly. Thank you for not giving up on him. She bent down, her voice warm for the first time all night. Promise me something. If you ever see an animal alone, hurt, scared, don't wait for someone else to care. Be the one who steps forward. He nodded fiercely. I promise. As the storm eased and dawn began to break, Aurora walked out of the clinic, her jacket now carrying the rescued puppy. Splintered, stabilized, sleeping, the townspeople stood watching her, their earlier judgment replaced with quiet respect. Chief Kessler called out, Where will you go next, Silver Pulse? Aurora looked toward the horizon. Where I'm needed. The world leaves too many voices unheard. She paused, glancing back at the crowd. Compassion isn't a skill, it's a choice, and every one of you can make it. With that, she stepped into the fading rain, disappearing down the road as the puppy breathed softly against her chest, safe at last.